Hi, and welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to hang out with you mamas and talk about the 4 R's of being a highly effective homeschooling mama. If you'd like to hear more, then let's get started. Hey you, did you hit that play button for the very first time? Well, welcome to the channel. I'm Tasha. This is Tasha Pivots, where we talk about all things mamahood and homeschool and how I'm pivoting through this journey. And so, like I said in the introduction, yes, I am wanting to share with you guys 4 R's of being a highly effective homeschool. My heart was really thinking of that new homeschooler, the one that just finished their first year, or the one that just made the decision right in the last couple months that said, you know what? I'm going to take the plunge. I'm going to walk into this beautiful journey of teaching and raising my children. And so I was thinking of you guys. And so this is very simple, and maybe some that you've never even thought of, even if you're a seasoned homeschooling mom and maybe you just needed a refresher. There's another R. Okay, so the first one is for the first R, we're going to talk about rhythm. And I came up with a little slogan to go with this, so maybe make it a lot easier for you. For rhythm, if it doesn't flow, let it go. And that is huge, and it takes time, okay? I have to preface it in small print. It takes time. Not everyone is going to find their rhythm within the first month or first 3 months. Even in a new homeschooling year, especially if you've taken some time off, it takes some time to find your rhythm, okay? So give yourself grace to find your rhythm. And then what I mean by if it doesn't flow, let it go, that means your schedules. That means your curriculum. That means any expectation that you have now put above the actual opportunity to raise and teach your children. And so we always want to remember that it is supposed to flow. There is supposed to be rhythm. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to have a day where there's chaos. You're going to maybe have an hour of chaos, or a week, or a month. Those, or even a year. I mean, I hope not, but I just know that if you automatically change and shift the perspective of like, you know what, this didn't flow today, let it go. We're gonna let this go. We're gonna pivot right now. All right, we're gonna change it. And I have really been embracing this in the last 2 years of my homeschooling journey. Of really, like, when I see that there's attitudes, there's a lot of shifts in the atmosphere, I will literally say, we're not doing this. Let's wrap it up. Let's clean it up. We're gonna do something else. Okay? So, rhythm. If it doesn't flow, let it go. Okay? Number 2, the second R is reference. Okay? I think you'd probably like reference. Utilize your references. Now, if you've got a mama community, that's your reference. If you are one that loves to read books like me, that I also call it brain nourishment, that's a reference. I have learned that through my journey through motherhood and homeschool, that honestly, I have found myself in periods of loneliness where I didn't have a mama community and I didn't have someone I could pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm really struggling with this today, or I just need to know, I need some encouragement, okay? And so if you have that, utilize that. Utilize those people in your life, and also allow it to be revolving so that they know that they can have a safe space with you to call you and have that same conversation. Also, find that seasoned mom that has been doing homeschool. Have that uncomfortable conversation of like, hey, I do not know what I am doing, or I may be struggling in this particular area. How did you handle this? How did you walk through this? And so utilizing your references is huge to being a highly effective homeschool mom. There is no pride in homeschool. You can't have this whole like upper nose stiff neck of thinking that you are the greatest and that you'll never need any help. If anything, when they say it takes a village, it still takes a village, even though it may feel like you are your only village. Okay, so find your references, find it in your books. There is plenty of books and literature. I will even link some down below that you can check out that really helps with thinking about how you navigate this space of homeschool, how you navigate from toddler all the way through high school. I have about 3 books that I can think of off the top of my head that I will make sure are linked down in this video. Okay, now number 3, rest. Now this one I struggle with till this day. If you watched my video last week where I talked about the top 7 things that I learned from my homeschooling year 2, then you know that I mentioned that is something that I'm really working on, because I'm a natural workaholic. I am also a natural, like, sleep 4.5, 5, 6, I'm really doing great hours of sleep. But I recognize that me being a mama me being a spouse, me being a business owner, me being a writer. If I want to be able to give my energy and my attention and my love to all of these areas in my life, then I need to get proper rest, okay? Now that's for me personally, but also let's even put in there that children, teaching them about rest. And that's huge, because if you have kids similar to mine at these ages where they're just like going on a race and they gotta go one to the next, to the next, to the next, we've got to teach them that it's okay to rest. Find rest. That means resting doesn't necessarily mean you gotta go to sleep, because you know our kids are automatically gonna be like, I don't want to take a nap. And it's like, no, it's not a nap, but it's okay if we just lay down on the couch, or if we all lay down on the floor and we just do some breathing exercises, or if we want to sit up here and just, because we need to not have our brain doing multiple things at once. Sometimes that may even be television. I know I'm personally an advocate of like less screens as possible, but you know, it is okay if you've got something that's more calming to put on television that's not overly sensory overload. That might be a way of resting. Or what I really like doing outside of that is really turning on some classical music, or just even, I'm thinking right now that the kids listen to every night is Daniel Chang, or Daniel Jang, that's what it is. Please check them out, or him out. The music is just so relaxing. And so sometimes in the middle of the day, we'll turn that on and I'm like, hey, we're just gonna lay out like little starfish, and we're just gonna embrace, and we're gonna rest. And so that's something I want to continue to do, and I think it's a great, highly effective habit for you, mama, as a homeschool mama. Okay, number 4, last one, and that is to receive. And you know, we automatically are always thinking we're giving. This whole journey of this mamahood and homeschool is us giving to our children and being of service to our children. And you know, we often don't recognize that we're receiving in the midst of that. We often think it's just like, well, I'm doing what is best for my kids. But honestly, I think that I've learned, and if I want to have a real humble moment, is that I have learned that I have received so much, like I almost could cry. I have received so much by being a homeschooling mama. I often tell people that like being able to raise my children and homeschool my children actually has healed so much of my childhood. The fact that I really did not know how to be a child. I did not know how I grew up with being an only child, for one, but then 2, I grew up around adults, and I kind of I've already had an old soul, but I just was very rigid, and my attitude and response to everything was very adult-like. And what I receive is moments where I see my kids laying on the floor reading together, or when I see them playing and being make-believe, or when we get to have tea parties. And it's almost like everything that I didn't have, and even the sibling thing, there's so much redemption that has been found in me being able to be with my kids. There's another R, by the way. Redemption, restoration, receive. I could go on, but honestly, just recognizing that it is great to receive. Receive in the moments, change your heart, not look at it like, I was thinking about my kids, they're going on a week of adventure for their vacation Bible school, and even though I'm gonna miss them, I think it's wonderful that I get to drop them off, that I get to take them to these things, and that they get to experience these wonderful moments and memories in their life. And so through that, I'm receiving so much because I get to. And I've talked about that before here on this channel, of just like changing your mindset of that I'm not having to do this, but I get to do this, okay? So those are my 4 R's, and I will repeat them again for you. The first one is you want to find your rhythm. Remember, if it doesn't flow, let it go. Number 2 is finding your references, okay? And if you don't have a reference, hi, how you doing, girl? Reach out to me. And then number 3 is rest, and number 4 is receive. And I hope that this helps you to continue in being a highly effective homeschooling mama. And thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Give this video a warm thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It lets me know that you like this. And until next time, I'll see you guys on the next video. I'll talk to you later. Bye.